What's up, peeps? Only 9 orders going out today, but one of them reminded me of a topic that I wanted to talk a wee bit more about, so I'm going to cover a bit of that as well, just to drag out this video and take up as much of your day as possible. Anyway, have a look at a couple of orders, and when we get to the book I'm talking about, I'll delve into a few more things round about it. If you've read the title, you probably know what this is about, eh? Yeah, nobody's daft. Anyway, first up, Killing Fields, Living Fields. Had this for months, and it's a portrait of the Cambodian church, the church that would not die. That sold for £5.94, so it was just £1.95 plus £3.99 postage. Next up, Jenny Han. Which one's this? To All the Boys I've Loved Before, so really good condition. Listed as very good, although it probably could have gone down as like new. That sold for, yeah, the usual price, £6.84 for that one there. Jenny Han books, they sell quite well. Since the series has been on Netflix, it seems to be more popular. So yeah, Jenny Han, pick 'em up. What was it? P.S. I Still Love You, Always and Forever. Something to do with summer and love. We'll always have summer. Summer I Turn Pretty. That's it, the summer I Turn Pretty. So anyway, Jenny Han, yes. Next. I think the only real bundle going out today. 4 Ian Rankin books. So, crime thrillers, we know they sell well. £11.97 for the 4 of them. So we'll take that all day long. Next, a couple of educational books going out today, and this is the first of them, which is Much Ado About Nothing Study Guide, Oxford University Press. I don't know if it is. It's kind of a study guide, I suppose. Anyway, a wee bit Shakespeare, heading out the door, and that went for £6.84. Right, we're on to the book, the one. Right. Agatha Christie, Third Girl. I've sold a lot of Agatha Christie lately, but it's all been in modern paperbacks. But this one, first up, it's in very good condition. Second of all, it is, if you can see that, it's a first edition. So that's quite nice. And it's not a first edition. This was originally published back in maybe the 30s. Was it the 1930s originally? No, it doesn't actually say on this particular cover, but yeah, it was published a long time ago. But the Crime Club Choice, there's a whole series of books that Crime Club republished, so this is the first edition of the Crime Club version, which are very popular. Published for the Crime Club series by Collins, and this one, it sold for 20 quid, so £23.99 all in. I could have probably got a bit more than that if I'm being honest, but it was a free book, a donation from somebody that I do other bits of work for, and they were having a clear out, and this is one of the ones they gave us. They're a collector, they're selling off their valuable books, but they don't consider this valuable, so they just passed it on. But Agatha Christie first early editions are worth a few quid, so if you could pick that up for £2 or £3, then selling it for 20 plus is worth doing. So keep your eyes open for Agatha Christie first editions, early editions. Let's see, this is the try that one again, Crime Club edition, which, let's see, sells well, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But there's a few more Agatha Christie's that you want to be keeping your eyes skimmed for, and I've got kind of examples of a few of them here. So, The Moving Finger, Agatha Christie. Now these are all facsimile copies that were produced, I think, round about 2012, but they're just redos of the original. This one's 2005 actually, 2006, because it's a second reprint of the facsimile copy, but these show you exactly what the first editions looked like. So keep your eyes peeled. These actually sell okay, £10 to £15 each, so they're not bad in themselves. But if you see an early edition of these Agatha Christie books, grab them, because they sell for stupid money sometimes. You can be talking hundreds of pounds. So this one was originally published in 1943. So that is one to keep your eyes open for. 1943 would be the first edition of The Moving Finger. Have a look at a couple more, just so you know what they look like. The ABC Diaries. Again, this is what they look like. And this one was originally published in 1930. Although this cover, etc., is from 1936. But so, the ABC Murders, anything back in the 30s, it's going to be an early edition and will be worth a good few quid. So, well worth looking out for. Death in the Clouds. Let's see, these are all facsimiles, unfortunately. But that means they are exactly what they were. 1935, this one first came out. So again, look for stuff dated back in the 30s for Death in the Clouds. Agatha Christie books that look like this, and even the bindings are done the same. So you can see what, if there's no dust jacket, which is probable, then it might look a bit like that, and it's still worth good money. Good condition dust jackets from nearly 100 years ago add value. A couple more of these we can look at. The Body in the Library. Again, lets you see what you're looking for. And this one would originally have been published in 1942. So 30s and 40s. A Murder is Announced. So this is a later edition, a later book by Ms. Christie. And the cover's on back to front, so I'll just go to the other end. And 1950, this one was first published. So again, 30s, 40s, 50s. And Crooked House, it's the last one that I've got for these to look at, would initially have been published in 1949. So yeah, that's what they look like. And that's the ones that you want to keep your eyes peeled for. Let's say those facsimile copies, if they're in good condition, they still sell quite well, £10 to £15. So if you can pick them up for £1 or £2, they can be worth doing that way. But Agatha Christie, ye oldies, find them. A couple of other ones, for examples. Just William books. If you can find first edition Just William books, some of them will sell for £500-600. If this is a reprint from, it's like a 13th, let's just have a look. Yeah, 13th or 14th reprint. So it was first published in 1927, and this is a reprint from October 1941. For the first edition, although this is 19th impression, it actually says it right there. So although this is the first edition, it is the 19th impression, so it's not a first, it's a first 19th. But when you're looking for the first editions, I have been reliably informed that they've only got one picture on the spine. If it's a later edition, like so the ones that were reprinted, new editions that were put out, I think about 1945, then they've got two images on the spine. So if you see the Just William books where they've just got the one image, then you know it is the first edition or a future impression of that first edition. So if you're buying them and you're picturing them, that's an important bit to show. That's Just Williams. I think I've got that one listed for about £20 again, so it's not massively valuable, but it's got a few quid in it. Another one, looking for classics. So those are all potentially antique books, but this is an antique book. So Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. Nice little hardcover in pretty good condition considering its age. So this was published, it was gifted to J. Sinclair in June 1911, and The publishing date on it is 1889, as you can see down the bottom there. So this is not an 1889 edition. This appears to be from 1909 to 1911, but it's still in really good nick, and it's a famous title, it's a known title, it's a collectible title. It's probably still not going to sell fast, but you're into the tens of pounds for that one there. Can't remember exactly how much I've got that listed for, but it might be about 80 quid. So, famous titles such as Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome, brilliant name. That's what the spine should be looking like. If you can find an edition, or a first edition from like 1889, you're into the hundreds. Anything that's in the next 20 years or so, it's still going to be worth good money, although it might be a wee bit of a long tail. You might sit on it for a little while. A couple of other antique books. I think I actually showed you these the other day because I just picked them up, and it's Familiar Wildflowers, and that's what the spines look like. Now I've got two of them. Originally it's a series of 5. This is books 1 and 3 that I've got here. I've seen all 5 books selling for £500-600, sometimes a little bit less. Condition is everything. These are in good condition, all things considered, and I've got them listed for I think 130 at the moment. So lovely gilt edging, and it's full of, I'm being careful with this obviously, full of colour plates throughout. So if you see that particular series, pick it up. Even just individual books, they're still going to be worth a good few quid. Full set is worth an awful lot more, and anything you see that looks a bit like that looks a bit interesting, that has a bit of age, that's not a plain, see if I've got one to show you a couple of different examples. No, I don't think I do. I'll show you this one anyway. Kind of a plain binding might be of interest, it might not. Something that's had a lot of work done to it is going to be more collectible. Simple as. Doesn't mean plain bindings are not collectible, but otherwise they're more likely to be if you don't know what you're looking at. This one is Popular Recreator, and it's how to do exercise and play games from the Victorian era. I think that's listed for around about £100 itself. Don't know when it'll sell or if it'll sell, but it's a fairly rare book, but not a massively collectible book, if that makes sense. So, when you're looking for rare collectible books, those are some of the examples that you really want to keep your eyes open for, and if you see them for even a couple of quid, pick them up and see what you can do. I've sold a few other rare books over the last months. Unfortunately I don't have examples to show you, but one where I think I priced it way, I know I priced it too low because I made a complete mess of it. There's a wee video about it that I've done a few months ago, back in August when I actually got it and sold it. Ian Fleming, James Bond books, first edition, Ian Fleming, money. I had a first edition second print of Goldfinger that I just picked up in a big lot. Didn't cost me a lot of money, it was just in a big load. Did a quick bit of research because I didn't think it was going to be worth a huge amount of money because I see quite a bit of Ian Fleming books, and it was going for anywhere from like £100 up to £500-600. I didn't know where this one sat within that, even though it was in good condition. I didn't know if it was a facsimile cover, if it was the original cover, any of these things. Didn't know how to tell. Didn't do proper research. Stuck it on as an auction just starting at £95. I thought, well, if it sells for that, I'm still making good money, and if it is worth more, people who know that will recognise it and it'll bid up to whatever it is actually worth. Unfortunately, I put it on as buy it now instead, nugget, and it sold within a minute for 95 quid. A bit disappointing, but first editions, £600-700, they sell almost as soon as they're available for that kind of money. So Ian Fleming, first editions, or the James Bond books, definitely worth keeping your eyes open for and picking up. Beware though, The dust jacket should look like this, but when you peel back the dust jacket, the inside cover should look like this. If it's just a plain cover, it's a book club edition, which can still be worth a few quid. You know, if you can pick it up for a couple of pounds, you'll sell it for £20-25, no problem. But if it's got the black cover with the gold eyes, like I said before, it's got a bit of work to it, it's a bit fancier, then that's the one that is worth the money. So keep your eyes peeled that way. I don't know what his other covers look like because I've not seen many of the hardbacks. It's usually paperbacks I find for them. But that's my opinion on just a few potential rare books that you could find and pick up. Anyway, let's look at the last few orders and then I'll let you get on with your day. Another educational book. Tennessee Williams A-Level Study Guide. A Streetcar Named Desire. And that sold for £6.94. A not so educational book. Room the Broom, Julia Donaldson. You know I love selling these. £6.94. Next. Right. I did something a bit different with this one. Stephen King, Christine. I picked these up at the weekend. I was contemplating putting them in a bundle and just getting them sold off to clear the space. And then I had another look at them. And these are like new. I've got a whole wee pile of them that are all like new books. So I've done quite well with the Agatha Christie books, listing them a bit differently, you know, like new or new, and doing it free postage, but selling them for kind of full cover price. And that's what I did with this one. Well, actually, the cover price is $8.99, and I listed it for $9.99 with free postage, and it sold within a couple of hours. So it'll be interesting to see if the other ones go the same way. And last, a bundle of DVDs. Nothing crazy, just the usual. 5 DVDs that sold for, the usual price, £8.49. Gladiator, Paris When It Sizzles, Alice in Wonderland, the Johnny Depp version, a couple of musicals, Rent, and Grease. So £8.49 for those. So that's all the sales for today. I say not a huge day by any stretch of the imagination, but that Agatha Christie book made it a wee bit more interesting, and it'd be nice if some of the other rarer editions I've got sold in the next few weeks. Doesn't free up a huge amount of space on the shelf, but lets me go out and buy even more, which is really what I like doing the most in this. Anyway, that's all for today. If anybody has had some cracking books like that, you know, ones that they've picked up for a couple of quid and then been able to flip for an awful lot more, it'd be great to hear about it. You know, my experience and knowledge of these books is limited to what my experience and knowledge is, and you guys out there have probably got 100,000 times more knowledge and experience than that. So if we add it all together, everybody's going to earn an awful lot more. Learn and earn an awful lot more. So if you've found a rare book that's sold well, stick it in the comments, let us know what it's all about, and I'm sure everyone will be absolutely delighted to share your experience with that one. Okie doke, that's me now. Love you, see ya, bye.